Welcome to Sage Advice, Conversations in Construction with Dustin Stephens, a conversation series that examines some of the unique challenges and groundbreaking innovations in the world of construction and real estate. In this episode, our panel discusses the challenges of attracting a new generation of workers and how investment in technology can create new industry leaders. Let's drop in.
Now, shifting gears from creating that culture that's going to keep your people and attract new talent, looking at, because this is such a unique challenge that construction companies are having to face, looking at areas where it might not, an underserved presence or a low presence in the construction market, like the younger workforce, attracting them into it, to the construction industry. Last stats I've seen, 11% of construction workers are women, still relatively low. Like, if you, Julie, look at it, what kind of trends have you seen? Some of the trends in construction as far as who's doing out working construction, superintendents? What changes have you seen? And are you seeing some of these changes where more women are coming in, or how you're attracting younger talent?
I think the industry as a whole has done a good job approaching colleges for the professional programs for construction management, engineering, architecture, in showing women the pathways to, long, successful careers in the industry. And there's lots of examples of that, lots of people who have done it really well. I think in the trades, I think the push towards more technology is really going to be a driver for getting young folks into the industry. I know we're working to get this Be Pro, Be Proud. It's a truck. It's this 18-wheeler that's got 12 simulators in it that you can, operate a crane. You can operate all this different stuff, but it's with, VR headsets and basically joysticks. And so that sort of stuff is building enthusiasm in high school kids. Whether they go on to a 2 or a 4-year college or they go straight to the workforce, they're realizing that this is not all work that you do with a shovel and a hammer. And it's not all, they're very smart. They're very capable. These kids are very tech savvy. And so they feel like they may have to abandon that to come into the trades. And we're trying to tell them, no, we need you to bring that expertise into the trades. We need you to help us sharpen our skills and come up with new technologies and innovations that help us work smarter, not harder, and safer. Yeah. And so I think the technology is what is sort of our lead in to the younger folks, men and women. And the more we can tell them that a career in construction doesn't mean you're, digging ditches or you're, just driving a nail, that there's a career that'll take advantage of all the things you've learned since you were 3 years old playing on an iPad. You can put that to use in our industry.
And who is this? That was your company that set up the 18-wheeler, or where are you?
No, it's called Be Pro, Be Proud, and it's 18-wheeler. Arkansas has 2, and it's $1 million to build the 18-wheeler, and then it's $300,000 a year to operate. But they drive these things around. They have a scheduling back office that books them at high schools, and they drive around and they go to high schools and community college. And this 18-wheeler is outfitted with the skilled trades that are typical for that geography. And like the Chamber of Commerce donates money, the Gates Foundation has donated money, the Waltons have donated money. So there's quite a few of them in the South. And Texas, at Texo in Dallas, we're trying to get one to cover all of Texas. And we don't think even one will cover all of Texas. We think we'll probably need 2, but we got to start somewhere.
ABC New Mexico told me about that, and they have that going to their chapter.
Exactly.
And it sounds awesome.
Yeah,
I have not seen it personally, but
it's phenomenal. So I think technology is going to be a big lead for getting youth engaged in our industry.
Which, before we get, that's a perfect segue into getting into technology to keep talent and recruit for talent. One final question, just looking at if you guys are working in these resort towns in Jackson Hole or Park City, do you find that, and in weather conditions that might not be ideal, how has that hurt or made your recruiting more challenging?
Yeah, so we do also what Julie said. We go direct to the universities, and we pull a couple college grads every year straight into the office or into the field. We also have interns come work for us, which I think is kind of rare in the construction industry. And we want people to think about construction more as a career rather than as a job. And I think it has a reputation for people outside the industry that construction is more of a job. It's a place where you clock in, clock out, and you don't develop yourself or your skills. And we've also benefited a lot, like Julie said earlier, from referrals. I think those are the two key ways that we hire. We want people who like our culture and like what we have to offer, and there's no better recommendation than when someone that we already really like as an employee brings us someone else that is amazing. And so that's how we've got some of our best employees, is through referrals. And I think, again, that just goes back to having a culture that incentivizes people to want to bring their friends to work. I mean, it takes a lot, especially in a town with a population of 10,000, where there's only so many companies, for someone to go tell their friend who's already at they have a good position, a good job, to leave and go work somewhere else. It's a committing decision.
And one to round this out, one last, they've mentioned some amazing things in order to go out and find those workers that normally wouldn't maybe think about coming to construction. Have you seen any other programs out there in the industry, or what companies are doing to get people who might not have thought about construction as a career to rethink that?
So ABC is very committed to the next generation. We partner with over 50 universities who have construction management schools. We have a construction management competition at our annual convention where students get to recreate a real project built by some ABC members. We, as an association, we invest about $1.5 billion to train or upskill over 1.1 million people. But the most interesting thing I see right now is on the technology front, we have a task force that is now we're working with a couple of virtual reality partners where we can actually have all of our chapters across the country go to career fairs and show people with virtual reality a day in the life of every type of trade contractor. So experience 3 minutes in virtual reality of what that's going to be like. So we're trying to innovate at the ground level just telling everyone construction is innovative. This is the type of technology that you're going to use. This is a way to experience it. But we partner with companies like Meta to show the world that virtual reality is not for gamers. It is for industries like construction, whether that is using virtual reality or immersive reality to upskill the future workforce or to communicate on job sites. This technology is being used. Artificial intelligence has made a big impact on construction, and we've only scratched the surface. Educating that to the next generation is going to be one of the biggest things ABC is focused on to help garner interest in the next generation, because to your point, we have a marketing problem as an industry. I think we're getting better, but we've got some work to do.
And shifting that, going in and showing these colleges or young kids that it's with the new technology and AI and the virtual reality and all these really, really cool things. Do you find having that or having those, what technologies have you used now or incorporating now or look to incorporate that you feel that it's going to increase your colleagues, your job satisfaction or retention and things, that you see that as far as impact, or that having this technology is an advantage that you guys have over other construction companies to recruit and maintain your colleagues?
A lot of the technology we use is on the engineering side. It serves construction. Construction, the technologies that we use as general contractors really comes down to how we run our projects, Intact and Procore, and things that make them, give them real-time information to make better decisions faster. Not too long ago when I was running projects, we had to wait for someone to send us a report, or we had to go to the office and do a thing. And the learning was slow because the data was delayed and you didn't get real-time feel for, if I do this, then it affects the job that way. So I think people get a hold of their job, they get up the curve faster, they move out of entry-level assistant roles quicker because they're OJT with technology and watching the job built and seeing how it costs and watching the schedule change. They get that in real time, and so their career growth, their curve is a lot steeper. They don't stay in the assistant track, the project engineer track for 4 years on learning door schedules and learning drywall and learning finishes. It's like, no, you get all that curve up pretty quickly in 8 to 12 months, and you're moving on to civil and structural, and mechanical, and so it helps with career growth for sure.
How about yourself? What technologies have you used to increase colleague satisfaction at your company?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think you can run a profitable company at a very small scale with little technology. As soon as you want to have a growing company, as soon as you want to pursue higher quality projects or higher quality clients or have higher quality employees, you have to really have what I think is the best technology. So we try to have the best everything. We try to have the best accounting software, project management software, but then we also want the best tools in the field. We want the best trucks and equipment. We want to have things that our employees are proud of and our clients look at and they say, yeah, this company looks like they're dialed. And one thing we're rolling out right now that I think is really cool is we just bought like a Matterport system, and we're starting to take Matterport of our projects, at different stages, and it's super sweet because we used to have to cut like a 3-foot hole in drywall to find a outlet that was buried, and now you can see that it's exactly 3.3 inches away from the wall. So like that's not an office software necessarily, but that integrates with Procore, which integrates back to Sage, and all of our field staff is using the same thing. And to the extent we can have that type of real-time data, it just makes the whole system feel like it's not living in another era.
Speaking of another era, I mean, that's great that you look at, hey, you want to be on the cutting edge of everything, get the best technology. Have you ever found that it could be a double-edged sword where, there's maybe different generational people within your company that the younger, I love this technology, others are like, this is, maybe more of a challenge, and how have you been able to address those obstacles?
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about this for a really long time. I started working at New West when I was 23 years old, and I was named CFO, and when I was 27. And I didn't have an accounting degree. I didn't have a construction degree. I was just a person that liked business and technology. And I didn't have any kind of preconceived notions. I tried to just ram through anything that I thought was possible to improve the tech side of the business and try to systemize our processes as much as possible. There's going to be a lot of resistance as that happens, and not every idea that I tried was successful, of course. But if you have a culture where people are coming at it with a problem-solving mindset, you'll eventually iterate and innovate and find solutions, and you'll kind of build a problem-solving type company where, oh, you're rolling out a new time tracking software? That's not a disaster. Or I'm not terrified, which was an opinion I got from a company that had been operating on carbon copy time cards for 55 years before we switched to an electronic timesheet system. So it's just an example like that. There's a lot of fear with change. A lot of people think that this is going to negatively impact me or my job, but people need to use the tech as a tool to improve their own career.
But if you've embedded that culture of
Exactly.
changing, then it's, despite the generational change, they're going to, hey, I want to embrace this because that's the culture that you
when
create.
people understand that things are always changing and we're always trying to improve, they will understand and support as we're rolling out and trialing new systems and processes and tools.
But you have to create the culture.
Yeah, one of the things I've noticed, when we first moved to Intact in 2013, we were aghast that they were going to update it every quarter. We're like, wait a minute, we need to get good at it. Don't change it. And now we realize, obviously you have to change it. I mean, and you have to grow and adapt. And so what feels good is to have, we use Intact and Procore. It feels good to have, two solid horses there as the foundation of our tech stack, but that Intact is an open platform that lets us bolt on these nuanced applications that are specific to the way we do what we do, that serve us the best. So I really appreciate that Sage Intact has not tried to be the only source of good software service for a construction company. They recognize they can do lots of things really, really well. But what they really do well is find great partners that serve their clients really well. And so that we don't all have, not one solution is going to fit everybody. We've got to be flexible. And so that was one of the huge draws for us, was that we're able to, make nuanced selections for our specific business case. And then, those aren't as scary as, I don't have an ERP change coming. I can go from 30 million today to 300 million, and I don't have a foundational change. I might find a different tool that tacks on better or worse, and some of those fail, and then you got to peel that off and try something else. But by and large, if they came to the Intact marketplace, they've been pretty well vetted. And I think they're ready to, if it's the right fit for us, that we could make it work.
To piggyback off that, I think we've hit a kind of a paradigm shift in construction. So we have what's called our Excellence in Construction Awards. We award some of the, almost 300 projects. And what we've seen, and we've taken the data, the top performing projects, many of those under $20 million projects, they're investing in technology. 93% of our award-winning projects are invested in project management tools. Over 70% in safety technology tools. Material tracking is a huge percentage. Drones being used on half of those sites. Robotics at 14% of those projects. These are not massive projects. These are small, medium, and large-sized projects done by contractors of all sizes. So the investment in technology is where companies, you were hitting this before, top performing projects and top performing contractors are invested in technology. That's just what is happening. Now, attributing that to ROI is going to be a little different for everybody, but the fact that we can actually see the data that there's investments in technology in our top performing projects of all sizes, to me, is one of the most exciting things because it's not just the large contractors anymore.
And that's all of that is amazing, and seeing that, and we've definitely over the last 2 years just seen record spending in tech in the construction industry. It feels like we're definitely going through this transformation, but we've also been labeled. Now, I don't think it's necessarily true, because I think construction's always been innovative, is that late adopters with technology, or maybe people just like change. So how do you, when you're talking to contractors who are maybe like, hey, I like the way I used to do it, to let them know, well, for your survival, if you will, you need to start embracing this culture of taking on these new technologies to survive?
I think the biggest thing is with the small and mid-sized contractors, having someone who is a technology champion, having someone investing time into vetting this. There's almost 4,000 to 5,000 technology companies in construction. Someone's got to spend time to vet that, prioritize it, and then implementing it is even more important. You can't just buy something like Procore and then you hit the easy button and now everyone has saved money and we've got safer job sites and you're more profitable. It's not like that. Construction is very complex. So it's not late adoption. I think it's the adoption and implementation process is just longer, and there is, there's more to it than some other industries. So,
I have another follow-up question for you. Both Thomas and Julie, you've mentioned you use Procore as well, and they're one of our strong strategic partner of ours. They have been for years. To your point as well, we also know that no one vendor can do it all.
Sure.
And so we really believe in this open platform and power of choice. Let our customers pick and choose what operational solutions is best for their business, Procore being one of those. And we do everything we can, work with them on a daily basis of how do we improve the experience of our mutual customers. And I know with your role at ABC, you've been working with 15 tech partners who have made a commitment to come together more and break down those barriers and create more collaboration between their products. And you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have what's called our ABC Tech Alliance. Now, as I mentioned, there's 4,000 to 5,000 tech companies out there. What we did was we looked at what are the problems our members have, who are the companies that solve those problems, but who are the companies that are committed to making ABC members better. So we've got companies as big as Procore in there, and we've got some small and mid-sized companies, like, for example, BuildOps that focuses on service contractors, or Smart Build that is focused on small and mid-sized subcontractors for project management. But all of these companies are educating our membership on what technologies can help them. And they, as a byproduct, a lot of these companies are collaborating and working together. And we mentioned before the tech stack. Well, we've been asked at ABC by a lot of our leadership, how do I build a better technology stack? We've actually built a website that we're going to launch in March that shows all of our vetted partners, not just the Tech Alliance companies, but we have a tech marketplace of extended, vetted, and approved companies who give exclusive discounts to ABC members. We're going to have a site that shows who connects with what, how they connect with each other, and you can actually dynamically play with it to see who connects with what in what different categories. So Sage connects with a lot of the partners, and this all goes to helping companies get just more informed and have a little more firepower to understand how to best build a technology stack, because if they can know who connects with two, that's going to help them be more efficient, especially for the small mid-sized contractors.
And are you breaking that down by micro vertical, size of contractors, the tech stack that, because I mean, they could have different maybe operational leads, or if they're doing more service contract work versus new construction?
Right now, and we do have to extend this, right now it's really, just these, so it's about 35 total companies when you include the alliance companies, the marketplace companies, and how they connect, but it's by category. So if you're looking at who connects with what in project management to equipment tracking, it's there, but we haven't done anything with the trade yet because this is version 1. But you're right. ABC has all different types of contractors. We're about a quarter general contractor, 75% specialty and sub. And there's a little more depth that we can go into. We have not yet, though.
Well, that's great. And I'm sure it's a very valuable service for them to see, hey, especially if they want to know, some people might say there's integration, but what does that look like? How does it work? And
well, I'll start. So someone said, can you tell us who connects with what? I'm like, and my response was, we can't vet 4,000 companies out there. But what we can do is we've got a construction technology committee represented by companies of all sizes across the country who vet these technologies that are committed to ABC. And one of the things that is in our mission and bylaws is being industry leaders and making the industry better. And that is what these different technology companies have committed to with us, and they're part of our chapters. So, that's where we started.
So we'll wrap it. I just want to ask one final question to each of you. And the question is, what is essential that leaders have to build credibility today to lead into the future?
For us, we think the organization kind of succeeds the best with kind of like a merit-based approach. So not saying that the CEO needs to be the best carpenter of all time, but certainly the CEO should understand, or the COO or the president or the CFO should understand the roles beneath them. We really promote people from the bottom up, and that helps them understand the roles and duties of their employees beneath, and helps them win the loyalty of their employees from the bottom to the top.
I would probably say it's got to be two things. One would be just that the company always operates with integrity and consistency. So they're not questioning. Folks never have to wonder how the company will behave in a certain situation, whether that's a project risk, whether that's a personnel issue, that we're behaving, consistently and with integrity. And then two, I think leadership has to surround itself with really good people. And so we need good leaders at all levels. We need leaders in project management. We need leaders in field supervision. We need leaders in the trades. But that, you have a leadership team that you trust, and that you all have your eyes on the same prize, not pulling off on individual siloed interests. You're working for the company. You put on your company hat and serve the greater good. And that, the leadership all takes that responsibility real seriously.
I think that in any company, leadership, it was kind of sad, but leadership's commitment to being a leader in the industry, conveying that to the company, but leadership's commitment to building future leaders, whether that is bringing education and leadership education to some of the people, or innovation technology education, but just being leaders in both sides, showing everyone you're leading the industry and providing that leadership education, but also, I think, especially in today's age, making sure that you are embedding, innovation. I don't mean just technology, but, the ability to change and adapt to the future and what's taking place is going to be very important, especially as you have, third and fourth generation companies coming about.
Well, again, I wish we could talk about this all day, but I can't say thank you enough. Matt, Thomas, Julie, thank you so much for your time.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is great. Thank you.
Join us for episode 3 as we discuss the rewards and challenges of running family-owned businesses, leaving a legacy, and bringing all generations on board. Until next time.